Boston is full of sounds. But there's one you might be hearing less of nowadays.
My boy's wicked smart.
The Boston accent. Though many can imitate the accent.
Park the car.
Car.
Park the car by Harvard Yard.
Harvard.
Park.
Maxine historian.
And it's surely still part of how the popular media portrays the city.
You're dropping your eyes and you're hanging in the big bad Southie projects.
In neighborhoods like South Boston, where a lot of these portrayals are based, the amount of people dropping the R is dropping.
So in the bar, we get a lot of tourists that come in here and from all over the world.
I like what you said, I'm more likely to wear it than you.
Yeah. When we get tourists in here, they're like, oh, we love your accent, keep talking, keep talking. And like I said, I think I have it particularly strong. I'm actually proud of it. I think that's pretty cool that when I go somewhere, someone can associate where I'm from just based on the way I'm speaking. I just think it gives you a uniqueness that, oh, you're from Boston.
I love the Boston accent.
I love it. I think the Boston accent's awesome.
I enjoy it. It means that I'm from one of the greatest cities in the entire world. If you do it, then keep it up.
Native Bostonians, I mean, the accent's part of the people, so I hope we don't lose it. I mean, when people think of Boston, they think of the accent, so I surely hope not. I mean, if I have to develop one and give it to my kids, maybe I will.
I absolutely think the Boston accent's disappearing. Probably the people in my generation and older, we probably would still have it.
They should have just said smart casual. You can wear jeans with a jacket and still be smart casual. Where is it at?
But the younger kids, I'd say, definitely don't have it, or if they have it, it's not as pronounced as how the older generation has it. My kids, who obviously lived in Southie their whole lives, they don't even have the accent that I have.
Something unique about myself, I'm smart. Something I'm good at, art. You want to see?
Car. You say. You don't even say the R, you just say.
But don't make that face.
Car. You literally just say car. You don't say car. Say it.
Car.
See?
It might sound funny, because it's almost sort of this like this surface level, like what's the big deal if your kids don't have the accent that you have? But I have to admit that there is like a real sadness to the fact that they don't have it at all. Not only do they not have it, like they don't have it at all. There is something for me that I'm very proud of, that I sound like my dad, that I sound like my grandparents, that I sound like, when you hear me, you know who I am. And that's how you can know if somebody's local, if they can sing your Southie's my whole time. I was born down on A Street. Yeah. It's almost like a death, that it's kind of like this is the line, and from here on out, you know, the way we look at sort of our lineage, it's defined differently. For the most part, growing up in South Boston, we all sounded the same. It would be a rarity if you didn't have, you know, some sort of accent.
I don't think it was an accent to us because we're just used to it. That's how we grew up.
It was a very local place, you know, very blue collar.
It was definitely more community oriented, more neighborly oriented. People used to hang out on the front steps and have a few beers at night, and you knew everyone in your neighborhood.
It's really this sort of idea of community that many of us, I think, expected to continue. You know, for myself, I thought that I would raise my kids there and we would just sort of continue this tradition. South Boston and the places like in the city of Boston, they were established communities, you know, of generations and generations and generations of families. I think we were on the front end of the gentrification that came in. It's odd to go back someplace that it not only does it not sound like it used to, but, you know, I mean, the whole place is physically different. So it's almost as if, you know, the town that I grew up in, of South Boston, is gone. I think that because a lot of that accent sort of comes from community-driven neighborhoods, and we don't really have that in a lot of these places where the Boston accent kind of derives from, I'm not sure how it continues.
It is probably the case that whatever peak geographic or by population this accent has already happened. What we see as the Boston accent is definitely reducing. It's not like it was in previous generations. There's just less of it.
So I typically personally don't come across, Boston accents within my inner circle that I usually interact with on a daily basis.
Boston accent to me, it's just a myth at this point.
There's a general trend of the homogenization of American speech. Boston's not a particularly provincial city anymore. We have people coming from all over the world. A lot of one's dialect and even one's language gets codified at very young ages amongst peer groups. And there are much less peer groups in Boston where you have all the kids that are all Boston kids.
At this point, Boston accent is all the community that live together. That is the Boston accent. It's not one specific accent, it's a whole community from diverse areas.
Everyone in Boston sounds different. There's so many people from so many different countries and so many different accents.
New accents form all the time. And for all we know, whatever new mix that Boston is, there could be some new accent that everyone just starts noticing. Arlessness is relatively new in the Boston accent. What I mean by that is instead of saying, car, you get ka. And there was this just interesting period of 100 years where we were R-less, and now we're sort of back to having this R-ful speech. We were distinctly New England before that. We were distinctly New England during this R-less period. We're going to be distinctly New England after.
I think it's just reflective of the world, growing up in that kind of very local, very community-based kind of Boston. It's hard to separate, who I am from, from sounding like this.